everybody, what's up? Circus here, coming at you with another top 10 video. The last one did really well, so we thought we'd try another one, see what you think of it. This time we're going to be doing the top 10 most impactful cards in Duel Links.
Yeah,
Rye.
but watch Mojo now. Top 10, that's all you guys get from now on.
Oh, no. Yeah. We're going to be doing top 10 of everything. After a while, it won't even be Duel Links. It's just going to be top 10.
Just top 10 lists. Top 10 of my favorite breads.
Yep. Top 10 my favorite Clone Wars episodes. Actually, I will do that video. So.
It's coming tomorrow, boys. Watch.
Yep. All right, so we want to do the most impactful cards of all time in the past 3 years in Duel Links.
And for the meta game, specifically tournaments, sometimes ranked. Again, this is our opinion. You will probably disagree with them.
No, this is the law. This is the law.
We don't have any math to back this up. This is just purely, I was sitting down thinking, man, what do I think are the 10 most impactful cards of all time?
And if you don't,
list, and here they are.
If you don't have 3 of each of these cards, you need to get them immediately, regardless of their age.
True.
Yeah, so even if they're out of date or they've been banned or anything, you need 3 of them right away.
There you go.
All right, so what's number 10?
So number 10, kind of at like the first spot, will be I consider the second wave of Blackwing support, right?
That's not one card, right? That sounds like a lot of cards.
That's your Simo, your all the synchros, everything that you could make with them.
Yeah.
Since that support has come in, Blackwings have been in the meta, and they have been firm in the meta up until kind of recently. They started to waver with Blackbird Close getting, a hit. Up till then, they've really been kind of even kings of the meta at certain points when certain cards are at their best, and have definitely received numerous hits because of how powerful they have been. So
I feel like they're one of those decks because we do the power rankings every week, and it's like Blackwings #1 kicking butt, and then the next week nobody plays the deck. It's like, what the hell happened?
They're all over the place.
But the deck doesn't change. It's still the same deck. They're still doing the same things. It's just people forget that it's a good deck.
Right. And the reason I kind of put it up here is, like when you think of Blackwings before, literally nowhere. No one played Blackwings before the second wave of support. But there were some really good. They had their whirlwind searching. They had some of the synchros. But they just didn't do anything until this wave of support. So number 10, it wasn't super impactful, but impactful enough to put it on here.
That's why it's at number 10.
Exactly.
All right, number 9.
Lancia.
The only good artifact card, by the way.
As of right now, yeah.
Yeah.
So Lancia, it pretty much changed the scape of competitive play. Because Sealed Tomb was on its way out, it was getting nerfed, and people were like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" This is the words I never like to hear in Duel Links: a necessary evil.
Right.
Nothing's a necessary evil. It's a card game. But we did need something other, because the only option we had is Necro Valley if we wanted to play something to get to do instead of the Sealed Tomb. And then people are like, "Oh no, Lancia is coming out. And Lancia you can use on your opponent's turn, stops anyone from banishing during that turn." And it came kind of in the middle of the invoked era, right? So people tried to go for their invoke summon, pop your Lancia. The best they could probably do is summon a Kaliga at that point, but most of the time it just fizzled out. And that was it, So Lancia, you might not see it in ladder if you're not a tournament player, but if you're a tournament player, it has been in the side deck since it's come out and continues to be in the side deck, and will probably continue to be in the side deck as long as banishment is still a big part of the game.
I remember people, when this came out, specifically like Herf, swearing up and down that you needed to get 3 of these things. I don't think we ever see people play 3. Maybe one to 2 at most.
Yeah, usually around 2.
Right.
Obviously, it'll become better as time goes on, but I don't know if we'll ever really, just because of the 20 card limit, right? It's really hard to fit 3 in.
Occasionally, we do see people summon them as like a last desperate measure.
Tribute summon Lancia. What?
It's like, oh, he just gave up. Yeah. All right, number 8. I think we kind of covered this when we did the best decks of all time or whatever, and how this particular card, especially a prismatic version, launched 1,000 ships, right? The face that launched 1,000 ships. That was this one right here.
The Diamond
Core. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god.
The deck didn't really do much before, but then that card came out and it was like, okay, not once per turn, has an amazing banish effect. It just changed the face of the whole game for until it got, the deck essentially was hit,
Oh, and we know what you're getting with that damn card every time, too.
Yeah.
We know what you're
Maximus, or here comes Ice, one or the other. It's
right.
either one of those two coming out. So, you know, the meta significantly changed around that time. And really it came down until a ban list had to really stop them from
oh, it was terrible. Every game was like,
lists, actually.
what, like 3 turns or something like that, most?
Yeah,
a total of 3 turns. You know,
it was
maybe
so
4.
much fun to get multiple Cosmic Cyclone, to get your switcheroos, to get your until you find that one Diamond Core, and then that was it. The Diamond Core is out, the Maximus is out, everything's destroyed, everything's ruined, everything's just it's just over.
Oh, here comes the Ice. Oh no, you know. Yeah, it was terrible. All right, moving on then. This one, back in the day, if you hit 3 of these, you were the best player in the game. You would win every game. And it's when I first learned how to start reading for delays. You know, because it was like, oh, there's delays and what they mean and stuff. And my God, Sphere Karibo, how many people went broke trying to get 3 of these back in the day?
I remember when I first started, people were like, you know, that first free pack that you get in the game, like that you have to do for the tutorial.
Yeah,
you can't get out of it. You have to buy that pack.
Right.
I remember people were talking about, which is terrible advice, don't listen to this, to go and restart your account over and over and over until you get a Sphere Karibo out of that free pack. That's how crazy people were going for this card.
Well, honestly, true story, because people love this other card. My first free pack ever, not even making this up, I got Axe Raider. Not even kidding. And at the time, that was huge.
Actually, at the time,
that was huge.
Amazing. You're probably destroying people. Because back then, you could normal summon once, and that's it.
Right. No 1700 attack.
There's barely any setting. You had like D-spell in your hand and stuff, right?
Right.
So it comes down to the situation that, you know, your opponent just has a huge monster. And by huge, I mean it has 100 more attack than anything you can have.
They got 1900 attack with their dinos.
And then all of a sudden it swings in. Oh, you're in defense mode because it's your Karibo. It wasn't even like stopping the attack, just putting them in defense so you can get the attack rush at that point.
Right.
It was like the best thing about Spheres. So insane card when it first came out. It's dropped a few times on the meta, but it always seems to find its way back. Currently, it's not like super used, but it's around. You always have to keep in the back of your mind, does this man have Sphere Karibo?
I always have 3. You gotta have 3. You just never know when you're gonna need it.
If you don't have 3 Sphere Karibo by now, gym sale, go get it.
Yeah, go get it. It's worth getting. All right. Moving on. This was the other card back in the day that you had to have. Was this in the 3rd box? Yeah, because it was.
I think so. Yeah. If you had this card, easy king of games.
I almost want to put it. There was another card we should mention too that goes along with this one that was hilarious when it came out. But we'll go with this one first. Mirror Wall. Oh my God! 3 Sphere Karibo, 3 Mirror Wall. You were the king. Hit me. Hit me one time. I dare you.
Yeah, and you know, there is, you know, obviously if you were not newer to the game, a little bit of a veteran player, even if you were in TCG or something, this is one of those first cards that really interacted with the damage step as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were, you know, they would swing in, see a delay, and freak out. Is it Sphere? Is it Mirror Wall? What is it? What am I swinging into?
Right,
you know, when in reality, you could tell if you knew what you're doing at the time. But yeah, a lot of duels that early on were ultimately decided if someone had Mirror Wall or not. You played it at 3. This was the go-to trap.
Right.
And even the high life point cost, because a lot of people are like, well, you can only have it for 1. No. That life point cost, that triggered skills.
Right.
And that was amazing back in the day. You know, you could literally just have it open and you're fine for 2 turns, and then it goes down, then you put up another wall, and it was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. And it's crazy that even to today, you can still see people play this card sometimes. It's not nearly as relevant, right? But you know, we've seen it in -1's Element Saber list. You see it in Dark Magician from time to time. In Damage Step, you can't negate it with navigation, right? So it's a good way to stop Dark Magician if they haven't hit it before. And just overall, it was just a disgusting card when it came out, and it's still being used to this day.
Yeah, back in the day, though, you pretty much had to play through back row. There was no way really to take it out. So it's like, all right, he's got, you know, 1 monster on the field and 3 back row. I've got 1 monster on the field and 3 back row. Well, I guess someone's going to start swinging at some point, you know.
I summon Sergeant Electro. I target your back
row. Oh, no, not Sergeant Electro. That's right. You could lock him down. That's right. Now, the one that
it was just one of those things where if your opponent's at 3, I summon Sergeant Electro. I'm going to keep passing until I have everything locked down. If you try to swing into me, you're swinging into Mirror Wall. GG's.
Yep. The other one I wanted to give an honorable mention alongside Mirror Wall, maybe as a meme, but was Michuzuri. Do you remember that one? Whereas if your monster got taken out, you could take one to the grave with you.
Oh, the worst is when you put the Yami ship down.
Oh yeah.
Swing into Yami ship, and then you just pop 2, and they're like, "Whoa!"
Right,
everything's over.
Oh, that was hilarious. Back in the day.
There you go.
All right, so where are we at now? Oh, this one. This is the one I have nightmares about. I talk about it all the time. I'm still mad at Seto Kaiba right now because to this day, I have never successfully farmed enemy controller off of him.
And I don't think I've gotten a single enemy controller drop from Kaiba. All my enemy controllers came from bingo and tickets and everything like that. Yeah.
This, I feel like these 3 in a row right here. This is like the old meta. This was like,
this is actually the old meta. You had 3 Sphere, 3 Mirror Wall, 3 enemy controller, 3 Sergeant Electro. Oh my god, that was the deck wallet control. Let's go.
Right.
This enemy controller, it was literally played at 3 in every single deck. Like
for a long time, a very long time.
The moment people realized that you could farm these, it was played in everything. Cyber Angel meta, zombie meta, Dino meta. It didn't matter. Up until this card went to the limit 2 list, it was being played at 3 in everything. It was so
there was no reason not to.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
If you built a deck that didn't have it in there, I remember people, because we do a lot of stuff with tournaments and stuff. Even back then, people would be like, "Where's your enemy controller? Why won't you have 3? You only have 2. Why don't you have 3 in here?" That was like I'm starting a deck. First 3 cards, enemy controller. All right, now I'm going to build the rest of it.
Hazy Flame, dude. We don't want to get Hazy Flame. We're gonna take the enemy controllers out.
All right, I guess even Sylvan's played enemy controller, so there you go. Yeah, but I mean, if you were building a deck, the first 3 cards was enemy controller, and then you built the rest of the deck around that.
Pretty much. That was like it's like, how should I build? Well, just put 3 enemy controllers, then figure out the rest.
Right, yeah. I'm going to put in a bunch of spellcasters, 3 enemy controller. Let's see, 3 Sphere Karibo, 3 Mirror Wall.
And the crazy part is, even to today, enemy controller is arguably one of the big reasons limit 2 is what nerfs decks, right? Like whenever a deck is new and it's strong, the cards that are being played, Hatronade, TTH, enemy controller, those are the big 3, the big 3 that really need to be talked about, right?
Yeah.
But then when you think about it, it's like, okay, well, let's just smack away enemy controller. That's how strong it is. Even if it was unlimited, everyone would have played at 3 today.
Right. Yeah. I wonder if Konami has data, or if they had a way to collect data on econ take for game, like how many times that happened. Like if there was some way to track that,
Yeah. How many people have gotten econ taken per game? Oh, that's a lot of people.
Yeah. I did play in a tournament once, and I had a game in there where in the finals I did a double econ take for game. That's how disgusting it was.
Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, moving on to the next one. These are what we consider staples. You already know what they are because I just said that, but there's a reason that we call them that, and that's going to be Floodgate / Canadia. I know they're 2 separate cards, but they're cousins at least, right?
Yeah, I kind of put them in because usually when one is in the meta, the other one kind of fades, but they never fully separate from each other.
Right.
Like whenever there's a lot of, like for saying Casitas, Lunalite, Saber, you want to play more Floodgates, but if there's not those cards, everything can be targeted. There's Sun Saga, stuff like that. You want to play the Canadia because then you can summon it from the grave. To do stuff with afterwards.
Well, and it's one of those things where people are like, I'm running 3 Floodgates, and it's like, oh, I only have 2, and they're like, oh, I'll just put a Canadia, and that's fine. You can just sub
pretty
it
much,
in.
Yeah. I remember for the longest time, people were trying to get Canadia limited because of how powerful it was.
Oh, that was ridiculous. Yeah, that was the number 1 gripe in the tournament scene for a while.
Everyone was like, we really want to get rid of Canadia. It's swaying games in crazy directions. And then Floodgate got really popular when Invoke Casitas was being played everywhere. And then people were like, why don't we just play more Floodgates? Floodgates essentially stop any sort of combo from happening. Oh, you want to synchro summon? Well, I floodgated you. Oh, I floodgated you twice. Now you can literally never synchro.
Your board is locked.
Until they released things like Ballista Squad, it was just like, no, this is just how life is from now on. Deal with it.
Yeah. They have such distinct uses, but yeah, they're very situational. And sometimes, like you said, sometimes it's Canadia, Sometimes it's Floodgate. It's great just to have 3 of each.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the next one, this is a Rye card right here. This is.
Oh boy.
I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm done.
Dark Lords. So Dark Lords, there was some hype coming into them before they officially were released, but they ultimately fell flat on their face. Like, they were just too bricky. They just bricked way too much. And then Konami was like, okay, guys, I know no other deck does this, but what if you could search your entire deck? And then everyone was like, well, what do you mean, Diamond Core? And they're like, no. But search your whole deck. And we're like, Diamond Core, you've already done this before. Konami, please don't do this. And then bam, Banishment was released. And we're like, okay, they didn't learn their lesson. Here we go again. It literally went from just not even a meme deck. People weren't even playing it as a meme. People just straight up did not play the deck. To all of a sudden, bam, like this tier
everywhere.
0 amazing deck. I mean, how can you argue that's some amazing impact? To take one singular card, being able to play it at 3 copies, makes a deck that was just nothing into the deck to beat for an entire year, pretty much.
I'm still scarred from that meta. I got so tired of casting games.
It's just crazy, because even when I first saw it, I was like, yeah, I guess this speeds up Dark Lords, but are Dark Lords in themselves really that powerful enough to change a whole? And yes, they are. Absolutely.
I wonder if Konami kept stats on how many people left the game during the Dark Lords meta, because it went on forever. It just kept going.
You gotta wonder for sure. I don't know, because even in ranked, it just sucked to be like, yeah, I'm just gonna play a quick ranked game, and then it's against Dark Lords, and you're like, okay, but I opened really well, and then you're beating them, and then they just stop playing the game, and like, you know what? I can't OTK you. I'm too scared to swing into you. I'm just gonna start using compensation, and I'm gonna keep milling, and I'm just gonna keep stalling until you deck out. And I still have like 10 cards left, and I'm like, well, unless he clicks slower and times out, there's literally nothing I can do.
How many Dark Lord mirrors did we have to cast back in the day? It was just,
oh my god. This is totally off topic, but there was a Dark Lord mirror where the guy accidentally Cosmic Cycloned one of his cards, so it just went he couldn't even play the game anymore. He just had to continuously stall, and he was behind in life points, and it was going to 50 minutes, so he was gonna win by life points, and then his opponent timed out at the 49-minute mark, and I was like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Could you imagine?
Literally nothing happened besides turn 1. The rest was just both play. They didn't even try swinging into each other anymore. They gave up. They just both decided to do
run up the life points. Oh my god!
And I was just like, bro, like, come on, really?
Yeah.
And he actually won off a timeout, so it was actually legitimate. Because if that got to 50 minutes, I would have been so upset.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm ready to move on already. Okay, next one. Very impactful card when it first came out. It was well, at first I think people didn't know what to do with it, right? At first, maybe, but then it was just everywhere. It's like MSG.
Yeah,
it's in everything.
MSG, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Neos Fusion.
Yep.
This card, when it first came out, people were like, 6 Sam is better. I'm just gonna stick to my, and I think a lot of it came down to people spent so much on 6 Samurai, so they didn't want to be like, just summoning this 2600 body is stronger than anything I can do to you. But no, the Neos is absolutely disgusting. It was literally in everything. It brought all these meme decks up to the forefront. They were able to play a different strategy than what they're used to. Which ultimately, led them to win. And it also caused a lot of memes. Like, a lot of people would be like, oh, you're not really playing insert meme deck. This is just a Neos deck with your cards sprinkled in. And it's like, yes, but you would literally not see these decks otherwise without this Neos deck. Just the power of being able to send from deck to graveyard was just so disgusting.
Well, I think it was the first time, I mean, we've heard of deck engines before, but I think it was like really the first time we actually had like a true deck engine. Like, before that, I don't think there was anything even close. I mean, you had card combos or whatever, but like, if you had a deck that couldn't get started, you put Neos Fusion into it, and it's like, it just got your deck going, and now it's like, this is a true engine. It starts your deck, And
it's been relevant for so long. It's on the Limit 2 list now. It's not only is it on the Limit 2 list, it has caused another card that searched it to also be on the Limit 2 list, because now That's just how crazy it is. Like a lot of these cards limit to. Well, what if you're limited to twice? Has anyone done that yet? No, I think that's only Neos. So pretty crazy to see that happening.
I was thinking maybe Red Eye's Insight, someone might say that is an engine, but that's very specific. Whereas Neo's Fusion went into everything, or just about.
Summon, like you can't summon, so you can't even do. Like for example,
I mean, it just gets your deck going. The Insight would get your deck going, but the Fusion or Neo's Fusion just goes with, or at the time was going into everything.
Yeah, it was everywhere. Yeah. And I think we have some honorable mentions. I don't know if you had any, but for me, for honorable mentions, all the other limit 2s I didn't mention, Hatronade, TTH, all those cards. They were very impactful when they came out, but pretty much as soon as they were discovered, they went into the limit 2 list and kind of became like okay, you're not going to be able to play this because I'm taking it away from you kind of situation that we go into. So you can pretty much take those and switch them out with enemy controller in the list at any point. They're all interchangeable, the limit 2s.
I would say for me, one that changed my life forever was Golden Flying Fish. That was a beautiful card.
Undefeated, by the way.
And then what was the other one? Cyber Angel Dakini. Just changed the whole game.
Yeah,
changed the whole game.
That was definitely impactful for sure.
Yeah. All right, and the number one card, I would say it's the Rodney Dangerfield of cards, and if you don't get the references, basically it gets no respect. People just laugh at it all the time. And I think people would say, imagine playing
Wall of Disruption, baby.
Imagine playing Wall of D in 2020.
I already know people are going to disagree with this being, but think about it. Just stop and think about it for 2 seconds, right? Before Wall of Disruption, we more than happily just summoned a whole bunch of monsters and kept swinging in. The worst that could happen to you is you swung into a mirror wall and you lost that one specific monster, and maybe on the follow-up turn you get lava golems or something, and that's just kind of like, okay, you're not being careful. With Wall of D though, you could swing in
and lose everything,
and you lose all your monsters are in attack mode. They have 0 attack. You just swung into an Alistair that's in defense mode. Purgatrio.
Well, even before that, though, do you remember before that when it first came out? A lot of decks did not have a way to get rid of those monsters. Then you would have 3 level 4s with no attack and no way to get them off the board.
So my very first tournament that I ever did, I played against Monado. If you guys know Monado,
big clapper
on here. Yeah, big clapper. The very first tournament, first time I've ever even knew anything about the competitive scene or whatever. I knew about Wall of D, but I didn't really know about it. My deck, I played Noble Knights. I did not have a way to tribute, didn't have a way to get rid of monsters. So literally, he just set, I think it was a Bacon Saver in defense mode. I had 3 Noble Knights. I swung in Wall of D, and then he did all my monsters 0 attack. He did nothing. He just kept passing turn. Then I realized very slowly, I've lost. I can't do anything. That's it. I literally cannot do anything.
I can't get my monsters off the board. Yeah.
He doesn't have to summon anything. He doesn't have to set anything. He doesn't have to do anything. And then he's set.
Yeah. That was such an eye-opener for people. It's like, oh, I better put some stuff in defense now. It just changed the way people play,
Yeah.
So very impactful, I think.
You might disagree with me, but I believe the whole thing of, because after that it was like, oh, Drowning Mirror Force, make sure to put something in defense, no one ever thought of things like that. It was literally just, we summon an attack, we swing, we don't think about these things. If I get sphered, if I get lavaed, whatever, I'll just follow up next turn. But this was like, okay, now we're stall gaming you.
And it's one of these cards I'll bring up and people will just still laugh at me. But then we saw it, 2 MCSs ago or whatever it was?
There was literally a guy who was making fun of people in our Discord. I'm not going to name names. He was making fun of people for playing Wall of D, and then he lost to it in the top 8. Twice. So all I'm going to say, people will disrespect it, but it has definitely changed the game, and it is so good.
Right, yeah, so I don't know. I like the card. It's in every auto duel deck I have, and I still use it all the time on the ladder. Not every deck, but I still use it quite a bit because people don't expect it, and when they get hit by it, you can just feel the rage through the phone. You can just feel it. It's great.
There you go.
All right, so I hope you guys like this top 10 list. You probably don't. I can hear the...
I don't like this.
Yeah, already. Put your top 10 list in the comments. We had people doing that last time, and that's great. Put your top 10 list in the comments, and we'll check them out. And then we'll disagree with you. See how you like it. I'm just kidding. We love you. You should know that by now. All right. Any last words, Rye?
That's pretty much it. Hope you guys liked the video.
All right.
Let us know if you want more of these videos.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Get in the Discord. Can't forget that part. Check out the new player channel. We have lots of people in there to help you out. It's been really active lately, and that's great. So we hope to see you in there. But we're going to get out of here. I'm Circus. That's Rye.
Peace out, YouTube.
See ya.